Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Guild Wars 1 Let's Play. We are here in Saitung Harbor again after last episode where we finished off the Zen Daijun mission and ended up going over here to Kaineng at the very end. I made a pit stop up to the main city to pick up some armor, so now we are not hopefully going to get two-shot. We also have some familiar faces here on the right side. I've acquired some heroes to make our journey more palatable. But we're back here on the island. We have one more quest to do here before we continue on to the rest of the main quest line. So yeah, let's get into it. So what we have here is the final attribute quest. So I talked a little bit earlier how there is a attribute quest here in Ranmusu Gardens. There's also another attribute quest, the second one you pick up at the end of Zen Daijun, which means as soon as you leave what is basically the tutorial island for factions, you have all of your attribute points, which I think is a great change from Prophecies, where you didn't really get them until basically the entire, until the end game. But unlike this one's a little bit annoying to find. You actually have to come over here and ring this bell, and this will summon Zunra again. My energies are exhausted from the effort protecting Zen Daijun from the sickness. My weakness has allowed a dark spirit to enter the valley. It feeds on the miasma and grows stronger even as my power wanes. The demon is not the cause of the sickness, it is merely an opportunist. But each day it remains here, the imbalance in my valley increases. The scales that keep good and evil in check will be tipped in. No, I will not stand by while my valley is defiled. Help me to cleanse the valley of this plague so that I may reclaim my power and return this precious valley to its former state. We must retake Zen Daijun. So, you can go back in and finish off this unwanted guest. So it's a little bit weird how you get back in. You have to go over here and talk to this guard. He'll actually let you back in. Greetings, beyond this gate is Zen Daijun, a sacred valley tended by monks to leave you. We have business in there. And that's how you get in. It's one of the few explorable areas in the game that you actually get in through a dialogue instead of through a like actually walking through the door. So we have Zunra with us again, as well as the zone now being full of afflicted. So we basically just have to go through the entire zone at this point, and yeah, we basically have to go through the entire zone at this point and redo, not redo, excuse me, clear out the various miasma sources. So it could be a bit of a longer one as we run around and clear out the zone. I kind of like this. It gives you a reason to walk around the zone. I don't know. It's not bad. I stated before that I believe the Prophecies attribute quests were far worse than the ones in the other campaigns. And this is kind of like, I don't know, I like getting them earlier, you know, realistically, especially if it's your first playthrough and you're doing some of the side quests on the island, you're exploring a little bit more. You'll be a little bit higher level than I am right now, so you'll probably even be edging on 13 or 14, or sorry, not 13, like 14 or 15 even, maybe even higher, as you're leaving the island. So quite a significant difference. So level-wise, you'll be about the same as in Prophecies, but experience-wise, not so much. Or time-wise, not so much, because you still have most of the campaign still left to play. So basically what you have to do for this is you have to bring Zunra around and drag him through the different miasmas on the map, and he'll clear them out for you. And the goal, of course, is just to clear all of them out. We are doing quite a bit more damage now. Yeah, see how the miasma disappeared because Zunra walked through it? That's basically what our goal is. gives us a chance to walk around. So I feel like of the 3 campaigns, Factions is almost too short. Like, I like it because it means it's nice for future characters to go through. And it's nice because it means that if you want to bring your alternate character over from Prophecies, you're starting pretty early into the story. There's still, like, you know, a good chunk of the story left to play. So it's nice for that aspect. But I do think to a degree that you spend so little time on Xinjie Island, like, comparatively, it's probably only... I mean, Factions is actually really short, but it's probably 20% of the game, maybe less. A lot of Factions is actually post-game as compared to the original Guild Wars. The original Guild Wars did not have as much, like, post-game activities for you to do, but this one does have a bit more for you to do after finishing the game, and a lot of it has to do with the namesake of the campaign, Factions, the 2 different factions in Cantha, and kind of their interaction with each other and with the land. So yeah. Which is cool. I don't know. I've said it multiple times that Factions is my favorite aesthetically of all the games, and I do really enjoy it. But it does always make me a little sad that Factions is kind of feels like the game with the least amount of, like, there's the least to the story kind of thing. Despite the fact that I think the world is absolutely beautiful, and a lot of the post-game systems are actually pretty well done too. Is stuck. Are you going to be able to get out of there? Or are you permanently stuck? Okay, thank God you can get out of there. I was worried he was permanently stuck in that plant. Let's drag him over this. Alright, we're good. Doo-doo-doo. I'm starting to think that I might actually do a little bit more of the of each of these characters, since obviously we're gonna have a character for each campaign. The original thing was kind of just use the Mesmer for everything after a certain point. Oh, here's a Jade Torn Kirin. I believe we also have to kill these as part of the quest objective. I could be wrong about that, but I think we have to, yeah, destroy the corrupted Zunrai, so we have to kill them as well. It's like a little village back here that we started the mission at. Basically going through the mission in reverse. Yeah, but originally I just thought about using the Mesmer for everything. But I think I've kind of decided that I'm gonna try to use all 3 of the different characters. So I think especially whenever we get to Eye of the North and there's like 3 different paths, I'm gonna try to use all 3 characters. I'm not sure I think for the Beyond series though, we're gonna go back and use one of my main characters, just because I've never done them, so I'd prefer to have that done on a character that I actually like, kind of still care about a little bit. Not that I don't care about these characters, but obviously, like, my main means more to me, or one of my mains means more to me, so... This is the only annoying part about this quest, is having to make sure you drag the horse through every specific miasma pile. Very similar to the mission as well. If he dies, you can just resummon him from here. But, yeah, so we'll be seeing more of this character even when, eventually the Mesmer takes back over the reins for the story. And I might even run this character through Nightfall as well. I'm not exactly sure. At least partway through Nightfall. I haven't exactly decided yet. We'll see, we'll see. I don't know, this one feels a little bit tacked on, or this quest feels not quite as good as the other one, because it seems like we're kind of just vanquishing the entire zone. But I don't know, it's kind of cool to get to run around some of these zones, and the quest gives us a reason to do it. And there aren't that many quests like this that are like basically kill most of a zone, so it's fine whenever they do it, because it's not like constant. I love this architecture here, and there's that there's a boat down there with a little dock you can run out on. Alright, so I think, yeah, now we're gonna go back around to some of the other ways. Ooh, Legborn armor. Still trying to get runes for all my different heroes, so I'm picking these up whenever I can, save myself some money. Undertaker, I don't think that's very good. Let's make sure we have our horsey with us. Okay, we do have the horsey with us. Another nice thing about this quest is it does mean we get to essentially go the opposite direction. So whenever we got to the, you know, a point in the quest, or in the mission, we were basically told that we could go left or right. This basically gives us an excuse to go the other direction. Do a lot of damage. I really like this spell. I'm not. We might swap it up at some point to a different build, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I really like DWG. I think it's super fun and kind of unique. So we might be using this for the majority of this character's existence. I might show off some other builds at other times, but to be completely honest with you, the other pretty good ritualist builds are either very similar, just all ranged versions of this caster, or summon spirits and auto attack while all the spirits do your damage. So to say they're not quite as interesting would be an understatement. Here's a cool little thing down here. Just a little gateway that you can come out and see the sea. See the sea. The vast expanse of nothingness. Pretty cool. I like the caves. The caves are pretty interesting. It's always funny because this game always has, like, the inside areas are always absolutely massive. So even when, like, you're in a cave or something, it doesn't really feel like you're in a cave because of how just, like, big they are. And, like, on one hand, that kind of stinks, but on the other hand, like, I think it would be much more annoying if you had to play the game, like, and you could only ever be this zoomed in because there's cave walls everywhere and your view would get obstructed. So, I don't know. Give and take, give and take. Yeah, this giving your Writ skills 20% armor pen is, like, actually a really good effect. 20% armor pen, especially for lightning spells, which already generally have some armor pen, or give cracked armor, which also reduces armor, is pretty good. It just means that the spells hit very hard, and they hit very hard even on enemies that are naturally resistant, which I think is nice. I think we're going back to the center. Yeah, we're going back to the center. Remember, I was talking about how we have to clear out the the center part in the previous episode. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about this quest. That must have been what I was referencing. Doo-doo-doo. This elite used to also be, there was a period in time in the game's history before they did some changes to hard mode. Um, so hard mode is essentially like, well, the hard mode version of the game, for lack of a better term, but a lot of the elite areas, you get more rewards for doing them in hard mode. So a lot of times people would run them in hard mode. And originally, back in the day, enemies used to, like, the only main things that would change in hard mode is, like, enemies would get more regen, a little bit higher attributes. Um, but importantly, they didn't used to have, like, one change they eventually did was give them quite a bit more HP. But back in the day, it used to be really good to use stuff like this elite I'm using right now because it just does good damage. It's armor pen. So before the enemies used to have, actually no, sorry, excuse me, they used to have high HP, but they didn't have any bonus armor, so it made skills like the one I'm using right now really good because you just did a lot of flat damage to things. But at some point they made it so enemies in hard mode essentially get a ton more armor, and this kind of swapped the meta for like end game damage builds from like elemental based damage builds into more like mesmers and even necros, because they do elementalist, sorry, yeah, they do elemental damage that is not reduced by armor. They do chaos damage and dark damage normally, respectively, and most of those are not actually reduced by armor. There's a corrupted Zunra. Oh, you can talk to him here to finish the quest. I never knew that. We have done it. We have retaken Zen Daijun. Thank you for helping me rid this sacred valley of evil and disease. Blessings be upon you always. There we go. There's our reward, our attribute points. Nice. So we can go back. Actually, we can go back to the marketplace now, I guess, now that we have finished off our final attribute quest. But that is going to be it for me here today. I want to thank you for coming out, and I hope you have a great day. I will see you in the next one.